my return trip to winter driving school wasn't supposed to go like this.
That is a good example of everything not to do.
That's my camera crew I almost took out. Clearly, it was time for a refresher. So under ice-cold blue skies,
All right, stop.
The surface is about 8 inches of ice and snow.
with Steamboat Mountain as the backdrop,
We're gonna go right back to the basics, Tom.
and after a quick track tour from rally and stunt driver Mark Cox, it was my turn. Lesson 1, the most common problem on snow and ice, losing control in a rear wheel skid.
Steer into the skid. Gas, 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 gas,
Aha!
gas, gas, gas. You never touched the gas, so we completely spun.
And I was soon reminded of the best way to avoid a skid.
Lift off of the accelerator. Don't steer anymore. That is a good example of everything not to do.
I grew up driving on snow and ice, and yet I still screwed up.
Well, you know, most of us don't drive in this stuff for 6 months at a time, and then we jump right back into it with no practice whatsoever.
Lesson learned, keep your speed down, especially on corners. Don't brake and steer at the same time. And if you start a rear wheel skid, steer into the skid, then gently apply the gas.
The secret is adjusting your speed well before you take the corner.
Next lesson, avoiding a front wheel skid, usually in a turn. Too much speed can send you flying off the road.
A little slower, a little slower. And we're going right off the edge of the road. Sometimes you dial the steering back just a little bit back towards straight, regain the grip, then you can be on your way.
The lesson learned, avoiding a front end skid is all about keeping your speed down. Once in the turn, coast and steer. The next challenge is to come down this hill and avoid the stopped traffic represented here by the orange cones. But then avoid these green cones, which represent a packed school bus stopped in the road.
I need to be able to hold on to
This is all about braking.
Oh.
If your car has anti-lock brakes, hold the brake down, even as the brake grips and releases for traction.
You want to mash the brake so hard that it's almost as if you're trying to break the brake pedal off and hold it there.
Brake too late, and it could be bad news.
I did it wrong again.
So you did everything right, you just did it too late.
Finally, the third time was the charm. We missed the bus. Lesson learned, slow down and brake early. If you have anti-lock brakes, apply solid pressure even as the pedal pops back up.
And if you don't have anti-lock brakes?
You go back to the old pumping technique where you brake, release in an emergency.
In the end, ice and speed magnify the simplest mistakes on the road.